In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the easiest way to create an Amazon seller account, and I've broken it up into 4 different sections: your overall seller information, billing information, store information, and then your verification process. So as long as you follow all the steps step by step correctly, you'll be good to go. I've also attached a free PDF guide that walks you through everything in writing so that you have a reference to look back onto. So if you want access to that, it's in the link in the description. It's also in the comments, so please access to that if you would like it. Also, this is a new channel, so if you could help me out, hit the like button and of course subscribe. And if even just one person subscribes to this channel from this video, I'll continue to post Amazon FBA content throughout this year to help you make more money on Amazon. Let's dive in. Now, the first step is go to sell.amazon.com. Before you actually sign up, you should understand the pricing structure between the 2 separate accounts that you can pick from. To do that, click pricing, standard, selling fees. Now, let me explain this as easy as I possibly can. There are 2 different categories of fees that you incur as an Amazon seller. The first category is dependent on what kind of account you sign up as a seller. And there's 2 different kinds of accounts: an individual or a professional plan. I'm going to explain that. But the other types of fees that are incurred when you sell on Amazon are product-based fees. This is dependent on the kind of product that you sell, what category it's in, the size, the weight, everything. That's a whole different ball game. And I have a separate video that explains that in detail that I'll link to up below and also down in the video description. Those are product FBA fees, okay? But this is going to be seller plan fees. There's 2 different kinds of seller plans that you can pick from: an individual plan or a professional plan. The main difference, even though there's so much good stuff that separates between the 2, the main difference between the 2 plans is an individual plan is 99 cents per item sold until you hit 40, and then you automatically upgrade to the professional plan, which is a base $40 a month, no more, no less. If you sign up for the professional plan right now and you don't sell anything, you pay for that first month, but you don't pay anything after. You don't pay month 2, month 3, month 4 until you start selling your product. So it's not just going to be completely waste of money. With that being said, unless you have a product ready to sell, ready to launch right now, today, then I recommend signing up for the individual account. That's just my personal recommendation, so you don't incur the extra fee of the $40. So once we come back in here, you choose between each of the 2. A couple things I want to recommend that you know ahead of time. What you'll need when you create your seller account are these things on hand. And also, these are reasons why people potentially get banned or not approved, meaning they set up multiple seller accounts. That's a big no. Business emails, depending on what it is, using a debit card instead of a credit card, or they sign up for their seller account and then they change all the information right after. Don't do that. Also, make sure that the information, meaning your first and last name, your date of birth, and your address, depending on what you use for your driver's license, passport, that is all transparent and it all matches between different forms and documents. You'll understand what I mean by that as I continue to go down throughout this list. Now, when you come back here to sell.amazon.com and you click sign up, it's going to prompt you to create a Amazon account. This is going to be completely different from an Amazon account that maybe you already have and you buy things from. This needs to be a new email address. It's going to be a separate entity, if you will. So with that being said, I recommend creating a new email account. That way you can compartmentalize and separate this new email account with all of your seller information rather than a personal email account. Now, you don't need to create a business email. And what I mean by that is you don't need to create a very custom email where it says mark@onlineseller.com. You can just create a new email. So for example, when I first started selling on Amazon, my name is Mark Mckellar. My new email was Marky Mckellar, which was my nickname growing up. So that's what I use. It doesn't matter. I recommend doing it. Once you create a new email account, then you can create your new Amazon account. Once you do that and you click sign up, it's going to show you what you'll need, what to expect, and then you're going to click begin. Now, once I click begin, it's going to want more information about me as a seller and my business. So first, I need to select where I'm from. I'm going to click United States, and then what type of business. Now, you're most likely going to be clicking either privately owned business, like an LLC, an S-Corp, DBA, etc., or none, I'm an individual. Here's the short answer. If you don't have any business type set up, but you want to create an account right now, then you can click none, I'm an individual. But you'll eventually want to create some type of entity, a DBA, LLC, S-Corp. You're not going to select publicly listed business. That's unless you're listed on the stock market and you can buy stock from it. Most likely select either of these two. To explain the difference between a DBA, an LLC, and an S-Corp, because these are most likely going to be the three options that you'll be picking from if you have a privately owned business. In short, a DBA is just a fictitious business setup by someone who is wanting to conduct business under a different type of name without a legal structure set up with the government. Now, that's the fastest and cheapest option. The next option is an LLC. An LLC is a state registered legal entity separate from its owner. There are more benefits. It's a little bit more costly, but really the difference between an LLC and a DBA is you are protected in case someone sues you, meaning the business entity will get sued and not all of the assets that you have as an individual. I've had an LLC for, I would say, the last 8 years, and that has never, ever really come up. Unless you're just a straight up idiot or trying to do illegal things, I wouldn't worry about getting sued or anything like that. Obviously, you never know. I'm just offering my personal recommendation. Those are the difference between the two. As S-Corp is kind of like an LLC, except it is taxed differently. But until you're doing really about 100,000 at least in sales a year, I would not worry about an S-Corp. And you can always change it from an LLC to an S-Corp. And so you're most likely wanting to start off with a DBA or an LLC. So now the question is, how do I set up either of those two things? Here's a couple of options. And also, if you live outside of the US, create an LLC using LegalZoom. That's my opinion. Now, there's two ways that you can go about creating your own business. You can either pay someone to do it or you can do it yourself. If you pay someone to do it, you can use a company like Prime Corporate Services or LegalZoom, which is very easy to do, but you're going to be paying for them to do that and you're going to be paying for them to file it with the state. So two separate costs. That will be anywhere between $150 and $500. If you create it on your own, it'll be between $50 and $150, depending on which state you live in. So I live in Utah. This is the link to create my own LLC through the state government site. It looks just like this. If I want to create a DBA, this is the link too. The easiest way to do this, and I've always created an LLC like this, I've never paid someone to do it, is literally go to Google and type in create an LLC or DBA in whatever state you live in .gov and only look at websites that end in .gov. If you don't, you're going to be getting sold on a service. So make sure it ends in .gov and you'll be good to go. And the only reason we need to create an LLC or do this process is to obtain something called the EIN number or a business registration number. This is a unique code number that you receive as a business that the government identifies you with. It's the number that Amazon wants and only cares about. That's the only thing that we need. When you create your own business, then you can come back in here, click this link, and this is where you can actually obtain that EIN number, or sometimes they call it the FEIN number. Now that we got it out of the way, let's go to the next section. If you click none, I'm an individual, you're going to fill out your first, middle, and last name, and then click confirm. Or if you have your business, you're going to click privately owned business, paste in your business name in there, and then click the box, agree and continue. Whatever you put in for your business name needs to match exactly with your business registration paperwork. And also with the company registration number, that's where we're going to be putting in our EIN number. You also want the address on here to match exactly with the company registration paperwork that you received that also has your EIN number. Real quick, if you're unsure of what to sell on Amazon or you need a little bit more direction with product research, I have a free product research step-by-step guide that will show you exactly how to find a six-figure product to sell on Amazon this year. And if you want free access to this guide, check out the link below in the description. Now, in this next section, it's going to want a little bit more personal information. And if you haven't already verified your account through your phone number, you will in this section, but it also wants to see a government-issued ID. That can either be a passport or a driver's license. And I'm going to be personally using my driver's license. But first, you want to fill out first, middle, last name, put in where you're living, and then country of birth, and then fill out this information for either if you're going to be doing a driver's license or a passport. And like I said before, you want all of this information to match exactly correctly. If you pick the wrong date of birth, month, or day or year that's on your government ID or driver's license, it's going to make just the process a lot worse. And so just take your time throughout this. And then next, you're going to confirm if you are the primary contact for this account. So I'm going to be clicking yes, I'm the beneficial owner. Or if I'm creating the seller account for a separate company, then you can click legal representative of the business. And then in this case, I am also the primary contact and the only beneficial owner of this business. And then click yes, I confirm, acting on my own half. The next section is going to want a little bit more information on your payment information. This is going to include what bank that you use and your credit card information. So I'll hit continue. Now, when you come to this section, it's going to want information about the bank holder name, which is my first and last name, yes. Or if I have a business account set up with that bank, meaning it's separate from my personal account, and I set it up as my business name, then I would click Amazon FBA Accelerator, which is the business name. I'm going to click that now. But when I first created an Amazon seller account, I didn't have a business bank account, and I'm meaning my first Amazon account like years ago. And so I just used my personal account. And so I would click my first and last name. If I do have a separate business bank account set up, then I will click Amazon FBA Accelerator, okay? Or whatever business name you have right here. Hope that makes sense. And also, it really doesn't matter which bank that you use. I typically always use Chase. Whatever bank that you use is great. But ultimately, it's going to want your routing and account number. If you don't know what those numbers are or where to find them, here's a check. And it's going to be the first digit number that you have on the check on the bottom left. And then that's going to be, and the next is going to be the account number. Okay. So just FYI, that's what you will be putting in here. Now, once you put those numbers in, click verify bank account. Now, this has happened before where it says bank account verification pending. Basically, it wants a little bit more proof of the bank that you use. And so all you have to do is go into your bank account and download your most recent bank statements and then upload them in here, which is a very, very easy process to do. Next thing is putting in the payment information in which you're going to be charged your monthly subscription fee. I recommend using a credit card. I've heard of issues, people using a debit card for whatever reason, and also getting denied or like banned using it or changing a payment information too fast. So avoid the hassle, use a credit card, and then put that information in here. The next section, it wants a little bit more information about your store and the products that you potentially plan on selling. With your store name, don't put too much thought or worry into this because most people do not pay attention to the store name of the product that they are buying from on Amazon, meaning I've had my store name be very related to a fitness product, but I've also sold in other categories and the sales have not been hindered because my store name doesn't represent those kinds of products as much, if that makes sense. So put whatever you want here. It can match your LLC, whatever you would like. So once I put in my store name, it's next going to ask, do you have a universal product code or UPC for your products? A UPC is a barcode that is on the back of any kind of product. It is what retailers, suppliers, whoever scan whenever the product is being sold or purchased. Now I have a full video explaining everything you literally need to know about what kind of UPC barcodes to use and why. Now I'll leave that video link above and also down the video description. We're going to be clicking, yes, we do have a UPC barcode. And don't worry if you do not physically have one right now. You can buy one later through a website called GS1 for about $30. Next, it asks, do you have any diversity certificates, minority, woman, veteran, whatever, to add to your account? I personally don't. And so I'm going to click no. But I've also heard of people clicking yes. And when they ask to identify which ones, they just click like minority, woman, veteran, like whatever. And even though they're not, and they've gotten away with it. So I'm just being like straight up with you. Like if you really want to and identify some of these, like you can, like whatever. I personally don't. So just FYI. Next it asks, do you own the brand or do you serve as an agent or representative or manufacturer for a brand of the products that you want to sell on Amazon? I'm going to click yes. Next it asks, does your brand have an active registered trademark? An active registered trademark is something completely separate that you file under the USPTO patent office. So like you're filing a trademark literally with the government and that is a bit expensive. Most likely you don't. And so I'm going to click no. And I do not have a trademark filed for this particular brand name. I do for a separate brand, but not for this one. So I'm going to click no and then click next. Lastly, it's going to have all of our information on here. And then there's a part where we can upload our front and back of our driver's license and then the bank account information. So that's going to be either a bank statement or a credit card statement. Now, once you've uploaded all of this, there's going to be most likely two different types of verification that Amazon's going to want to do with you. The first form of verification is most likely going to be wanting to verify your address, that it's legit or not. And so they're going to be sending out a postcard and it looks exactly like this. Okay. And it's going to have this bright red 6-digit number, and you're going to use that to verify your account. So like, yes, you are going to have to wait a few days or potentially a week. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, they may not be doing this anymore, but most likely they will. The next form of verification from Amazon is going to be through a video call with a representative, with an associate. And you're going to be getting an email or like a list of information similar to this. So you're going to want to have your government ID, like your driver's license or your birth or your passport, next to you, ready to show. And you're also going to want to have like physical copy of your bank information to show. Now, they are very strict. They do not let anyone record what this call looks like or what this call is, but it's very, very harmless. And these are typical questions that they will ask. You know, they're going to say like, can I see the front and back of your driver's license or passport? What country do you live in? What is the name of your business? Different stuff like that. And the call is really just about, you know, a couple minutes. It's very, very short. And for the most part, there shouldn't be any issues. So with that being said, hopefully this will give you a good idea as far as like how to create your Amazon seller account. Now, if you want to learn how to actually find a product to sell on Amazon, check out this product research video where I go through the whole process step by step to find a 6-figure product that you can launch this year.